As the state encourages business growth in Wyoming, the need for accommodations grows with it. Yet the housing bottleneck has left many wondering what we're doing wrong. Recently, a project in Teton County, one of the most expensive counties in the state, has developed workforce housing. The 12-unit project is just a drop in the bucket, but it's caused some to wonder, how did they figure it out? So we've talked to some housing officials about what they are doing to fix the housing problem. Arn Jorgensen, the vice mayor of Jackson, says they've been addressing the housing issue since 1989. The biggest problem his town faces is providing workforce housing.
This is much broader than workforce. It's much broader than employees. We are at the risk of losing a sense of community, becoming a resort only in our community. Other places in the state have a different set of challenges around that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to housing members of our community within our community.
30 years ago, the founding board of the Jackson Hole community created a nonprofit housing trust. Since then, along with the county and town efforts, they've created 1,500 housing units and restricted this housing to resident members of the community.
If you're working within our local economy for your living, whether it's a school teacher, an architect, working for the town of Jackson, working as a graphic designer, working as a guide on the river, if you're deriving your income from our local economy, you will always be outbid when it comes to housing and land from people that are interested in coming into our community that's bringing wealth earned outside of our community.
Jackson also encourages building by increasing zoning density for community members, increasing business incentives by adding additional square footage, changing regulatory zoning, and uses taxes to buy land and leasing it to investors to build, bringing down the price points. Governor Mark Gordon says most people who come to Wyoming want to buy a plot of land, sometimes sight unseen, which works if you're rich. But low-income or workforce housing has not been the focus. One of the solutions, Gordon says, may be in converting existing structures.
WCDA, has been continuing to work to try to figure out how to take housing developments that are already there and repurpose those for more low-income housing. We've tried to make sure that the housing is safe and affordable, but we need to really start to look at development across the board.
But critics say that development cost doesn't make dollars or cents.
So you have this wonderful old building. Well, it doesn't meet ADA accessibility, it doesn't meet fire code, it doesn't meet electrical code, and so you have all these updates that you have to do to the building, and by the time you do all those updates to the building, it doesn't pencil out for these people to do it.
I'm Valeria Fugate, Wyoming News Now. This is a three-part series. In the next part, we'll look at obstacles to housing in Cheyenne and some of the historical significance. Come back for part 2.